All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today. And the first thing I want to talk about is Tesla's Elon Musk wants Coinbase to become Doge friendly. And it is kind of weird that they don't actually have Dogecoin, but Coinbase is always really far behind the times, and they've only recently, within a year or so, actually started to add a lot of different coins to the exchange. For a long time, it was just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, and then they finally added Bitcoin Cash when that actually came out. I believe it was sometimes 2017, September, or something like that. I don't know the exact date. But that came out, and then they just basically didn't add anything for a really long time. So it is kind of weird that they don't have Doge on the platform. So electric car maker Tesla CEO, an unabashed Dogecoin fan who pumps Dogecoin anytime he mentions it, and there's literal bots set up to buy Dogecoin when he does mention it. Elon Musk wants Coinbase exchange to end its no Doge allowed policy and list the meme-based cryptocurrency. And I don't think they have a no Doge policy, but fair enough. Musk tweeted an exclamatory yes on Saturday after a Twitter user asked a billionaire investor whether Coinbase should add the Shiba Inu represented cryptocurrency on its platform. Somebody said, "Hi, Elon, I saw a report that Coinbase was used for the Tesla BTC purchase. Nice entry, by the way. Do you think Coinbase should enable Doge on their platform? It would enable many folks to easily access Doge." And he says, yes. And what's interesting about that is that Doge is actually slightly hard to access. So you'd figure it would be on Coinbase. You can get it on Kraken and some various other exchanges, but you have to go and sign up to them. Some of those are like KYC. So when the Dogecoin thing was pumping, everybody was struggling to find a exchange to buy it on, and a lot of them had KYC signups before you could even start buying, or they don't allow Americans, or this, that, or the other thing. So yeah, sure, Coinbase would be great. A listing on Coinbase would expose Dogecoin to a whole new breed of investor and thus unleash its potential. That's because the U.S. regulated exchange is considered synonymous with institutional investors and high net worth individuals. Tesla bought Bitcoin worth $1.5 billion in February via Coinbase. So yeah, fair enough. I don't know if it could be used to its full potential because I don't know the potential of Doge. It used to be a very charitable coin back in the day, and there was a lot of coins raised for various charities across the globe. And I actually made a video about that probably like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was called something like the unusually charitable case of Dogecoin, something along those lines. And I talked about all the charities that it uses and the fact that they had a NASCAR Doge one time. But anyway, moving on, 333 million worth of shorts liquidated in hours as Bitcoin soars to 60K. Don't use margin trading. You're going to get liquidated one day because you never know. I mean, people were like, hey, it reached 58,000. It's kind of going back down now. Maybe that's, we aren't ready to reach 60,000 now. And then you pretty much blink your eye and you take a shower, you make a cup of coffee, and you wake up, hey, Bitcoin $60,000 or $61,000. Whoops, I guess I lost a lot of money. It's been a terrible day for bears. According to Bybit data, roughly $407 million worth of numerous cryptocurrencies got liquidated over the past 4 hours alone. Bitcoin currently trading at 60,189, but now I believe it's over 61,000. We'll check that in a moment on Bitstamp Exchange after touching the 60,000 mark for the first time in history earlier today. Bitcoin 6% in the last 24 hours with all the other top coins also trading in the green. So yeah, there's a lot of wrecking going on. So I think it's 333 million just worth of Bitcoin alone, but the total shorts were 407 million. So whoops, I guess the exchanges make a lot of money on that one. So moving on here, Ethereum 2.0 deposits top $6.5 billion as ETH nears $2,000. So a lot more Ethereum has been staked on Ethereum 2.0 deposit contracts since the Beacon chain was deployed last year. Besides the increasing number of ETH on the network, the valuation has also increased significantly following the growing price of cryptocurrency. Today, according to the ETH2 Launchpad page, about 3,493,826 ETH has been staked for the proof of stake era and is still counting. So again, this has taken a lot of ETH out of circulation, but the news that I'm about to get to after this one, which I've talked about before, but since it's in the news, I guess we'll bring it up again, and it's sort of relevant to this. This has taken a lot of Ethereum out of circulation, but ETH 2.0 is probably being sped up a little bit, or at least staking. So basically phase one, staking was supposed to be in phase 1.5. So they're thinking about taking the 1.5 and essentially essentially moving it to phase 1 and then moving phase 1 to phase 1.5. So basically bringing out staking a little bit earlier due to the absolute outrage that's going on with miners and incredible transaction fees. Although I don't know if staking itself is going to really lower the transaction fees. Now, EIP 1559 is meant to burn fees and also essentially create a standard fee, which will go up and down based on if Ethereum is over 50% usage, it will go up. If it's under 50% usage, it will go down. But those fees will no longer go to miners once EIP 1559 is out. And that's part of the outrage, because miners right now are literally making more from the fees themselves than the actual block reward. So the goal of the document that the Ethereum developers released is to describe a mechanism by which a merge can happen quickly with little modification to either the ETH-POW or Beacon client, said Buterin. This would essentially transition the network to Ethereum 2.0 faster than expected, because when the Beacon chain first came out and people were allowed to deposit, which is exactly 32 Ethereum per node, and if you don't have 32 Ethereum, you can't just slap it into another node like you could with previous proof of stake coins, where you could, if you had more, you'd have more of a chance to find a block on your own. Whereas Ethereum 2.0 is a little bit different. It's 32, 32, 32, 32, and you make a new node every time. And that wasn't scheduled to even begin the proof of stake, or at least phase 1.0 or 1.5, for like 18 months. So they're trying to pull it back as fast as possible. So like clockwork, the Ethereum community has quickly organized potential solutions to this 51% attack that is planned on April 1st. Although it's not a 51% attack. I just want to say that because a lot of people have been coming to my old video that I made a few days back. Like, this is not particularly old, but I made it a few days back, and it said miners plan a 51% hash rate, not attack. And a lot of people came and commented on the video saying that it's not a 51% attack, that I was basically wrong. But you didn't watch the video, and you didn't properly look at the title, because it did not say 51% attack. It said 51% hash rate, because they're trying to move their Ethereum to one mining pool to show that they have a force that they can move. So it's not an attack, but it is trying to move 51% of the hash rate. So it's I get it, it's a fine line, but watch the video, guys, and look at the titles a little bit better. A blog post from Status said on March 12th, pointing toward the framework written by Buterin, Vitalik describes how Ethereum can perform a quick merge by rapidly moving from proof of work to proof of stake with limited changes to the Ethereum clients. A miner known as Bits Be Trippin' commented during a March 9 YouTube video that part of the risk display here is not to attack the network. Again, I said it again, don't attack me. It's to show that force projection is possible, which is weird to say. That's basically like walking around with an assault rifle, like those people that like try to walk around with. And don't get me wrong, I love my firearms, but it's like people walking around with assault rifles in rallies just to show that they have a force projection. Well, if you're not going to plan on using it, maybe you don't need to carry an assault rifle. I'm just saying, hey, it's America. You can do what you want to do, but I'm just saying, to show that you have force projection and you're not going to use it. So is there no threat, or are you a threat? So you know what I'm saying here? It's just like pick one. You know what I mean? Be a man and pick one. Either it's not a threat or it is a threat. You know, Ethereum 2.0 is a scaling effort that looks to take the network from proof of work or proof of or POW to proof of stake. An endeavor that has been in the works for years. So Buterin's recently proposed framework would expedite the network's mining consensus transition, choosing to work out the kinks and details of the system after the fact, which is, maybe that's bad. Who knows? The merge could pave the way for smoother development on ETH 2.0, according to the post of Buterin's write-up. The Status blog noted that the EIP 1559 opposition group have already technically mustered enough power to conduct their 51% attack. Again, they don't plan on the attack, but they're just kind of threatening it, which again is a little weird. Just pick one. Ethereum's network has been home to many significant developments in the decentralized finance and non-fungible token areas over the past year. And the Ethereum transaction fees are essentially out of control. So moving on here, Google trends Bitcoin is now searched twice as much as COVID-19. So literally more than a worldwide plague, which, hey, you could argue the validity of the plague and how bad it is. I guess that's not what we're talking about here, but it is pretty crazy to think that Bitcoin is literally searched more than COVID-19, the thing that shut the planet down for a little while. So, hey, that's a thing. So as we witnessed the 1-year anniversary of COVID and the nonstop need to wear a face mask when we're at the cusp of history, as Google search activity suggests, more people are interested in Bitcoin than the virus. Throughout 2020, only a few investments gave as many returns as Bitcoin. Alongside the pandemic, Bitcoin showed incredible resilience in the first 3 quarters of the year. Price ranged from 4,000 to 10,000, but as soon as the price broke this range, we saw the cost of one BTC more than triple. And that was basically when the PayPal news came out that PayPal was picking up Bitcoin. Then it went from 10,000 to, and just really exploded. And then investors and companies ended up buying billions of dollars worth of it after that. Although Grayscale has always been around and was around then too. But then it really started to pick up. In March 2021, Google Trends, a Google tool to gauge general interest in trending topics, returned a value of 45 for Bitcoin compared to 21 for COVID-19. All this begs the question, why are people more interested in a digital currency than a global pandemic? Well, let's take a look at that price real quick. $61,185. That ain't a joke. That's probably why. So moving on here. So that's all good news. Either way, that's super good news. Anytime that Bitcoin becomes insanely trending on Google, we typically have a big price increase, and then it'll go down as people start to sell off, and then it goes back up as people start to buy again. So this is a good thing. Litecoin's mimblewimble code to be ready by March 15th. So this has been in the works for quite a while. Litecoin decided to basically put privacy mimblewimble in their code. So the code to Litecoin's potential mimblewimble upgrade will be complete on the 15th of March. On this date, the code to the MWEB protocol will be ready for final review and formal auditing. At the time of writing, mimblewimble has been running smoothly on the Litecoin testnet for the last 3 months. So basically on the 15th, the code will be ready, but I don't think it will be out on the 15th. I think it's going to take a little while. Mimblewimble's core developer David Burkett recently updated on the progress of the project as follows. I guess I'll just kick the can down the road a little bit further and shoot for launching a community testnet sometime after the code is completed this month. So again, it's not going to be available right away, but this is pretty interesting. At least it gives Litecoin sort of some extra features. There's still a ton of work left to do before the code review can be submitted, but I remain confident and committed to meeting the March 15th goal. So once the Mimblewimble code is reviewed and audited, Litecoin miners will then have the final say as whether to upgrade or not. According to the team, Litecoin Mimblewimble will be opt-in feature for Litecoin users. It will run on the Mimblewimble chain, separate from the main Litecoin chain, and this chain will provide the benefits of improved fungibility and privacy. So as with all upgrades, Litecoin wallet developers and crypto exchanges will have full discretion as whether to implement the Mimblewimble or not. So in the future, if governments decide to crack the whip, because they sort of have with Monero and various other currencies, that's why like Coinbase doesn't have Monero and various other exchanges. Some of them do, some of them don't, but some of them got rid of it because of just regulatory pressure on Litecoin, stating that it is a privacy coin at that point. The same crypto exchanges and wallets will have the option of no longer supporting the Mimblewimble extension block. This means that delisting Litecoin will not be necessary, as the Litecoin main chain is a separate entity completely. So that's pretty good. So there'll always be Litecoin, and they can't really say, oh, we're going to get rid of Litecoin now because technically regulatory reasons, it's a privacy coin and we can't track it very well. So that's pretty good, and just the ability to opt in on a private level from your wallet, I think, is a pretty good extra feature for Litecoin, as it's kind of needed for Litecoin, as Litecoin is kind of falling out of favor a little bit in terms of the smart contract coins, dApps, DeFi, etc. But moving on to CoinMarketCap here, $1.8 trillion market cap. We are on that way to $2 trillion. So it's looking like maybe $68,000 Bitcoin, and the rest of the market, as long as it goes with it, should be about $2 trillion. Maybe $70,000 Bitcoin. We'll have to see here. It's only a couple $100 billion to go. So it's hard to say the exact, especially considering the supply of Bitcoin increases over time. So even if it stays at the same price, over time it'll reach a $2 trillion market cap, at least a total market cap. And various other coins are also inflating as well. So it depends on the price and the inflation at the time and the circulating supply supply. So you get what I'm saying there, but nearly 2 trillion, and that's super good. So 61,227 Bitcoin rising before our eyes as I finish up the video here. $1,906 Ethereum, still lagging behind from that like $2,000 high. It could be the trouble going on with all of the fees and the miners, etc. And also, again, the block reward for Ethereum is 2, and the current fee rewards are around 2.2 or 2.4 Ethereum. So it's quite more than double, or quite more than the actual block rewards. So miners are literally making more on the block rewards or on the fee rewards than the actual block rewards. I can talk, I promise. But that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video. That helps me out a lot. My social media in the description below. Give me an opportunity, give it a follow if you get the opportunity to do so. But as usual, I'll see you guys next time.